So if you see the restricted performance warning in your Range Rover, it means that your car went to the limp mode and now the power is reduced and the top speed may be also reduced. This is the way for your vehicle to protect the engine and transmission in case something happened with the car. You can drive, you don't need to stop your vehicle and call a tow truck. You can drive, but the speed will be limited. Interestingly, in the US, there was a recall for software update for the Range Rover cars that showed this restricted performance error message. But in the UK and Europe, there was no recall. But this tells us about the software problems. So I suppose you may get this update in the dealership if you pay some money for that. Now, one of the common reasons for European Range Rover vehicles is the DPF problems or AdBlue problems. If you have a diesel Range Rover, it's very likely that there is a problem with the DPF. So you have been driving in the city for a long time, your average speed is low and the DPF is full, so you will need to go to the highway and press the gas pedal a couple of times properly so the DPF filter is cleaned. Also, the AdBlue level can be one of the problems, so you just add AdBlue and see if the error message goes away, but it will not go away quickly, so you will need to drive some time. You will need to drive a couple of miles to see if you actually solve this problem by adding AdBlue. One more reason is the misfiring engine. When the knock sensor in your diesel or petrol engine in a Range Rover detects knocking, which may be the consequence of misfiring, it will put the limp mode and restrict the speed of the car. There are tons of reasons why your engine may be misfiring. It's like spark plugs, ignition coils, electric problems, internal engine problems. So there are tons of things, and this is the topic for another video. I will not delve deep into this, but I have the article on my blog and it answers a lot of side questions that arise when you have this restricted performance warning in your Range Rover. You may consider reading this article and I will continue with the reasons. Also, one of the pretty common reasons is the low transmission fluid level. If you didn't replace the transmission fluid, you may need to check the level in the dealership or in some good repair shop and maybe add some transmission fluid or maybe change it if it's really old. Sometimes when the level is low, this is common that your Range Rover may throw this exactly error message. Also in Range Rover cars, in a lot of years there was a faulty fuel pump, and this fuel pump may have caused this problem and this error message when it stopped working properly and the pressure of the fuel was low. Checking this on your own is quite difficult, so you will need to find a good mechanic to help you check this problem. And one more interesting problem that can cause this restricted performance warning is the air intake problem. So the air intake pipes may go off and the air will uncontrollably come into the engine, and the brain of the engine will not understand what to do with all this air and how to inject fuel into your engine. So it will just go to the limp mode and will show you restricted performance error message. When it happens, you need to check the air pipes, check the connections of the intake pipes and also of the turbocharger pipes. If some pipe has a leak, it's torn, it has a hole in it, or maybe the clamp is loose and the pipe will just leak some air into the system, you will clearly see this restricted performance and some other error messages and warning lights on the dash of your car. Of course, the air filter can also cause this. If the air filter is old and clogged, it will not let enough air go into the engine and eventually it will lead to the limp mode. So take out the air filter to check this, maybe replace it if it's old with the new one. This is one of the easiest DIY solutions. Then you may also try disconnecting the battery in your vehicle. I don't recommend doing this in newer cars like 2022, 2024, because when you connect the battery back, it will ask you to register the battery, and you will need to go to the dealership and pay some money for that. But if you have an older Range Rover with this error message, you may disconnect the battery, and this will reset the control modules, and this will help you solve the problem with zero money. Also, you can try adding AdBlue, as I already said, checking the intake pipes and the turbocharger pipes for any leaks. Unfortunately, all other ways to fix this problem require professional help.